Good tape to watch. I thought defensively again, I was real pleased with how we played. Offensively, I felt in the first half we left some opportunities to score out there, and then I was pleased in the second half. Fortunately, we were able to separate ourselves a little bit. Any questions? Look, honestly, we talked about this decision, and we really just paid attention to the doctors, and we weren't going to be careless with it. He threw it really well last Monday, and I know there was this sentiment to wait to the bye. And look, if a player is 100% healthy and feels ready to go, and someone like him is who I trust, and he looked fabulous all week in practice, and this is an important game. It's each one of these 16 games have the same value. So we're close to the 6-week mark now. But to have a game like we had today, and we scored a lot in the second half, it was a good win. Been real steady. Man, he's one of these runners who's got good vision, and he kind of put his foot in the ground and pick up speed in a hurry. He's a fantastic teammate. All the things that we look for in a player he has, and so he's been a good addition to us.
That's 30-plus touches for him 2 weeks in a row. Is there something about him that he's sort of built to be able to?
Well, certainly he's one of those backs that you feel like as the game goes on that he's got good stamina. He's in great shape. I don't know that you go in knowing that you're going to have those type of touches, and we got in to the fourth quarter with a pretty good lead. So, but I was pleased with how we ran. A good stop, obviously, on their end of the field. It was a real good play. I think, look, it's to the defense's credit. Again, they were one-dimensional in our ability to run the ball, possess the ball. I think all those things that we talk about, relative to winning games, I think kind of came to fruition in this game. Well, you're right there, almost on the 30, right? The 29, 30-yard line. So, yeah, it's taking advantage of the field position, and that was one of a number of big plays. I thought we contested throws well. I thought we did a lot of things well.
Sean, do you know why the clock didn't stop when Murray went out of bounds towards the end of the first half?
Say it again.
Do you know why the clock kept running when Murray went out of bounds?
I think they ruled that his progress was going away from the line of scrimmage. If that hand by the official just keeps rolling, you have to finish going forward on the sideline. If they ever feel like you were finished going backwards, they'll keep it going.
John, did you have any limitations or adjustments to Drew play calling at all?
None. No, it was really the defense we're seeing and putting our plan together. So there weren't any, well, this week let's not do. There wasn't one.
Sean,
He was 100%. Go ahead.
as far as with the way you used Murray, it seems like it was really similar to kind of the way you used Alvin. I mean, is that kind of the way you?
I would say a little bit, but not quite totally. In fairness to the question, I think there's sometimes that, look, we had 2 halfbacks up in this game, which is kind of a little bit unusual. Zach's a player that's familiar with the position, and of course, if need be, Taysom's one of those guys that could fill in. But I think in order to run your offense, there's certain things that he might do that maybe would have been plays Alvin might. I mean, it does change for us a little bit relative to personnel groupings. Pardon? We've seen it in training camp, and so we've seen the preseason, and he's extremely competitive. I like that about him. He plays hard, and he's got really, really good ball skills. So, we've gotten some real good production out of him, and in games like this where they were in a lot of 4 receiver sets, you can't have enough of those guys. Well, look, I think, we obviously we have a lot of football left, and you go through you go through momentum cycles, and sometimes, being on different teams, you're trying to create momentum. But I would say this is a pretty close, resilient group, and I think that I think they care a lot about each other, and I think they understand how to win, and they also understand how difficult it is. So you'll have some time away, and then get back in here ready for another home game.
I don't know if you noticed the moment, but the crowd was really cheering for Teddy, even though he was on the sideline. What does it say about what he was able to do?
Listen, he was outstanding, and so he appreciates that, and I think look, it's a big reason why we acquired him in the offseason. Sometimes you don't know if you're going to need that, but man, it was good to see the team rally and play well when we needed to, and then to continue that momentum, here when Drew came back. So it's about winning, and with the roster size the way it is, we're going to need and count on everyone.
Sean, did you see anything on film leading up to this game against the Cardinals to allow you to put Taysom in that slot position and make him more receiver and target him a couple times?
It was really more about our personnel. We had 2 tight ends up with Jared down, so he took some F snaps. With Drew back, you really get 2 players, because when Drew comes back with Teddy, Taysom now can play all 4 core special teams. He can play the tight end, and so a lot of it had to do with his role in the tight red zone. They kind of play a certain look that kind of give you some underneath throws. That was one of the touchdowns. The big, I think, second down, might have been first down play he completed on the far sideline was a man-to-man beater. He's a real good football player, and just try to get him as many plays as possible. It's more challenging when he's your second string quarterback, though.
Sean, you brought up really big one-dimensional. Was stopping the run kind of the primary focus?
Well, look, there were a handful of runs that we saw. We felt like the last 3 games they played, in which they've won, they were running the ball more effectively, and fortunately we were able to eliminate some of those plays. They were shorthanded too at running back with Johnson not in. So it's more difficult to operate when you're just throwing. All right. Say it again. Jumbo, yeah. Well, look, again, when you're short tight ends, you can bring a bigger body in and run the ball, but you can also bring a bigger body in and throw the ball. So we threw a number of times, not asking him to get out in the route, but again, it's just trying to be efficient with the game day roster. 7 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends. And so a week ago he played a number of snaps there, and he did today as well. All right, thanks.